In this video, I'm only specifically talking about the Resident Evil series. That's really the only game series that I play from Capcom. I've been playing Resident Evil since I could hold a controller. I love this series. That being said, Capcom has a weird ability to make terrible yet amazingly fun RE games. Post Resident Evil 4, or starting at Resident Evil 4, depending on what RE fan you ask, RE games haven't really been RE games. RE4 obviously took a huge turn. I mean, the flavor is there, but it's still very different. It's like if you like chocolate milkshake, so you go and order one at some milkshake place, but then they hand you a caramel chocolate milkshake instead. The chocolate flavor is there, but it's not a chocolate milkshake. It's a caramel milkshake. I mean, it's good, but it's not a chocolate milkshake. Not the best analogy, but you get my point. RE4 is probably one of the best games ever made. I beat that game at least once a year. But it's not the best example of what a RE game is. The flavor is there, like the cheesy dialogue or the tank controls, goofy villains, etc. But the gameplay is different. It switched from being like a scary atmosphere with limited senses where every encounter could spell your doom kind of game, to something very different. Not that RE is scary, Resident Evil has never been scary, but I do like the spooky atmosphere. RE4, however, you have basically free reign. There's hardly an encounter where you feel that you are limited, there's an abundance of resources, etc. But again, I love RE4. It's one of the best games ever made, beat only by Silent Hill 2. Obviously, Resident Evil 4 was a huge success. It's probably on as many devices as Skyrim. It'll probably be on fridges next. But it veers away from what it means to be an RE game. And that brings us to RE5. As with 4, I love this game. When that game came out, I played that game so much that I could open the inventory screen, use a health item, reload my weapon, close the inventory screen, and go back to shooting Magini in like a second. That's how much I played that game. But it's a good RE game. No, it's not a good RE game. It's not a failure as an RE game. But it's also an utter beauty. Capcom was able to make an amazingly fun, non-RE game. And that trend continues, which brings us to RE7, the next game in the series. I don't know why they jumped from 5 to 7, but whatever. I don't understand Japanese culture. I'm just kidding, I'll cover 6. 6 is just absolute garbage. It is one of the worst games I've ever played. From all viewpoints, it's a terrible game. Is it a good RE game? No. Is it a good action game? No. Does it have a good UI design? Definitely not. But does it have a good story? It's okay. I kind of like the crisscrossing storylines, but that's really it. Everything else is garbage. I remember playing it when it came out, and on my first playthrough I played as Leon, and there was this one part where you're in some kind of market in China, fighting these weird monsters. I believe that they were regenerative, I'm not sure, it's been a while. And one of these enemies, like Mortal Kombat animation looped me. You know, where someone just spams a button and you get stuck on an animation loop? One of the monsters literally did that to me in this dumb game. I got knocked down, and the animations just looped. It was stupid. I think that was the point where I just gave up on that game. That game's just garbage. And now this actually brings us to Resident Evil 7. RE7 is pretty fun. I played the entire game in VR. It was awesome. After beating in VR, I did try to play it normally, but the aiming acceleration on the controller was just absolute garbage. Playing with the controller, it was just nauseating. Which, the irony is not lost on me that I could play an entire game in VR and not feel nauseous, but playing with a controller was nauseating. I love irony, it's the spice of life. I'm sure, I tried turning off the acceleration, but maybe I just, the whole acceleration thing was pretty new to me, so maybe I just messed up, I turned the settings the wrong way. But yeah, I couldn't figure out how to turn it off, and I just gave up. But anyways, RE7 was a pretty good game, in VR. But it definitely isn't RE. Not that it's a bad game, it's a great game, just not a Resident Evil game. RE8 is about the same, a great game, but not really RE. With RE8, they obviously were trying to get some of the RE4 feel, which, it worked I guess, it was fun. Now on to the remakes. First on the list is the RE Remake Remaster. I'm just kidding, I'm not going that far back, but they actually did do a wonderful job on that one, on both Remake and Remake Remaster. Okay, so the RE2 Remake. Really well made. The only complaints are nitpicks, and that I wish that they included a classic mode to where you could play through the game with fixed cameras to round out the fact that it's an RE game. Also, just playing a modern-day fixed camera RE game would be a dream come true. So I wouldn't really call this one a failure by any means. But RE3 Remake, on the other hand, I don't know how they did so bad with that one. Even though the game is insanely fun, which it is, it's definitely one of those beautiful failures. They cut so much content from the game. They changed Nemesis, his designs and his interactions with Jill in the game are different. They removed the Mercenaries mode. So much was lost, so much was done so wrong, but somehow they still managed to make an insanely fun game. Somehow, they're still alive. I've basically 100%ed that game 3 times. First Xbox, then PlayStation, and then Steam. I have like one more achievement on Steam, and only a few records to unlock in the game. If they were able to keep the same level of funness, while also not cutting out half the game, it would have been another masterpiece under their belt, but they dropped the ball on that one. The RE4 remake is looking like it will be another masterpiece. I'm really hoping that they learn their lesson from RE3 remake, but we will see here soon. And even though I love these various beautiful failures, I totally understand why a fellow RE fan might not. One of my cousins is as big as a RE fan as I am, but he doesn't like the newer games. He doesn't really even like 4, which I totally get. I can see why he wouldn't. And even though I would absolutely love a modern classic RE game, you know what I mean. I'm still kind of happy that RE has evolved, because nothing is worse for a series than never straying from the original formula, because then it gets stale. It's a weird dance that we have to play for a series to survive. For a series to survive, it needs to evolve, which creates longing for the original, which puts strain on the name to return to its roots, which then it needs to evolve to survive, etc., etc. And all the way, we get beautiful failures. Well, thanks for watching. Have a good day, and God bless.